Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Painless Universal Conversation with myself, Anne Welsh. Today's conversation is really a story of preservation, hope, determination, and one that really describes and tells you that anything is truly possible if you just believe and you stay true to your own true calling. My guest is based out in Kaduna State, Nigeria, Africa. And he'll be talking about his work, how he got started in the art business, why he got started, and also mostly what really inspires me with this conversation today, and I think it will inspire you, all of you as well, is the fact that he believes so heavily in his passion that he decided to do a painting of an celebrity, and that got international instant recognition. Well, let me tell you a little bit about this story. Eli Waduba is a young artist who stays in Kaduna, Nigeria. He's been drawing since the age of 9. On the 25th of February in 2019, his luck changed when he tweeted a photo of his drawing of American comedian Kevin Hart. He asked the tweeted community to help him retweet so the comedian can see it. Luckily, 2 days later, the young man got a reply from Kevin Hart himself, telling him that his interest to purchase the drawing while also commissioning 3-hour drawing for his celebrity friends. The recognition didn't stop there. On March 19, drawing made his way in the episode of Stevie Harvey's show. During the show, Stevie Harvey said, "It looks like a photograph. This dude did it with a pencil." The young artist thanked Stevie Harvey for the commendation and recognition via tweet. Lately, Tiffany has also recognized his work. This is a young man who lives in a place where there's instability. There's lots of ongoing unrest in the country, in that state right now. But he's not let the noise of the negativity going on in the country and in the states stop him from achieving his dream. It just shows the miracle of social media. And when you do things that are positive, that people always reach out, and there are always good people out there. Well, I'm super excited to talk to Eli about his passion, his resilience, and why he truly got into art. And hopefully, by listening to this conversation, you learn the joy, beauty, and love that comes from doing what you truly love. Meet my wonderful guest, all the way from Kaduna State, Nigeria, Eli. Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Painless Universal Conversation with myself, Anne Welsh. As you can tell, today I'm pretty excited about our conversation because this conversation is one that truly inspires you. It shows no matter what circumstances, no matter what life throws at you, you can still find your joy in your pain. Meet my guest, an artist, Eli, as he shares his story. As we said in our introduction, I'll give you more briefing about him. But before we get started, I'm going to ask him that basic question. Eli, who are you?
All right, my name is Eli Waduba Yusuf. I was born and brought up in Kaduna State. I still live in Kaduna State. And I'm 29 years old. I'll be 30 this April. And I'm married to Eve. The name is Eve Tanko.
Okay.
And I am a hyperrealism pencil artist. And I'm specialized in charcoal, and also I do some of colored pencils drawings, and sometimes I do biro drawing, pen art. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm super delighted. And for any of you who don't know, Kaduna State is in Nigeria. It's one of the beautiful states in Nigeria. It does go through a number of arrests, number of political issue, tension, instability. But you have managed to find your joy in an environment that the media has portrayed so negative. So I'm so happy to be talking to you from that part of town, Kaduna. When you look at your childhood, what was it like growing up, Eli? And did you, what were you like as a child?
Well, I grew up with my parents. My dad is the village head of where I come from, and he was also a farmer. And growing up, I saw him to be this substantial farmer that used crude tools like hoes and all that. So once we go to school and we're back, sometimes we go to meet them in the farm, and sometimes we get back in the evening after the farm work and all that. Then we prepare for school. So it was really challenging because I've been an artist since when I was very little. And then growing up, I had to live that passion because I saw my parents being farmers. My mom was a help to my dad because she never had this formal education. So she was more of a housewife. So it was really challenging because this was the only source of income. So we were just managing the life. And
Yeah, I know.
my dad was really, really hardworking though. And he gave me the best education he could give. So despite the challenges, it was still fun. I'm really grateful for everything he did.
I'm so glad because I think he gave you your work ethics as well, because you seem like a very hardworking, determined person, not letting your circumstances determine where you're going to go to next. When did you discover your love for drawing?
Well, like I said, I've been drawing since when I was little. I think around 3-4 years, and then I used biro to draw on notebooks. And it was really amazing because then I could act a movie, like war movies on notebooks, and I could differentiate who is the protagonist and the antagonist. But then it was just for the drawing. I love to draw cars then, and I love to draw cartoons. But then growing up, I got to a level that it became a challenge for me because my parents were not really seeing it as something lucrative, and they were not seeing it as a profession. So I had to stop. I had to stop drawing for a while. Then I resumed to draw in 2015. Yes.
Can
And
go on?
I actually resumed when I saw a piece that actually inspired me by Arinze Stanley. And I felt if he could do this, I think I can. So I so much fell in love with that piece, and I just had to bring back that passion for it.
Oh my God. Was there that fear inside you, knowing that your parents saying we're not going to be supportive of it? Because I understand the culture in Nigeria, Africa in general, where they feel you have to be into a certain profession for you to be able to meet ends meet and be able to provide for your family. Even though you had that passion and you saw this work, what gave you the still inner drive to keep going to, in 2015?
I tried a lot of trades because my dad believed in if you're going to school, you should have something doing. You should learn something, a skill. So I tried a few. I tried furnitures, that's carpentry. I tried sewing, that's tailoring. I also tried a lot of other trades, but then I wasn't happy doing them. I easily pick up, but then I wasn't satisfied with it. But there's this thing about art that it's not just about the money, but when I create something that looks so amazing, there's this sense of fulfillment. It gives me joy. Sometimes I wonder at my works, I'll be like, are you the one that really did this?
Yeah.
Like, it's so amazing. So I get this satisfaction from creating something wonderful. So that's the drive that kept me going. Even when my dad was not really happy about it, he wanted something else. He would have preferred maybe being a doctor or something else. But then I
Yes.
just kept pushing.
That's
There
really.
was this joy in creating, so it kept me going.
And I'm so glad you did, because you didn't just keep pushing, you also found your true talent. Where did the charcoal pencil, the hyper realistic and the contemporary pieces come into play? When did you understand that this is an angle I wanted to go for? What led you on this path?
Okay, I actually started with graphite pencils. We have graphites, we have charcoal pencils, we have colored pencils. And then I love to draw with graphite, but they have a reflection that I don't like. They're really nice, but when light shines on them, they have a reflection and you don't get the real texture of the work. And I was like, where will I get something that can replace this? So going on the internet, checking other artists out, and I discovered that there was a pencil called charcoal. And I looked for it over here and I tried it once and I loved the texture, but it was really challenging drawing with charcoal because unlike graphite that has different shades, charcoal is just one. So
Yeah.
you do the shading yourself. You determine the level of either the lightness or how dark you want it to be. So it was another school on its own. But then I fell in love with it and I enjoy working with it.
Can I ask you, did anyone teach you how to use this, or did you teach us all this thing you're talking about the shading, the texture and everything? Who taught you all of this?
I discovered most of these things myself because I never went to an art school. I never had someone uh, who mentored me. I think I picked a challenge from Arinze's work. When I saw it, I told myself, make sure what you're doing today is better than what you did yesterday. So I kept practicing and I wasn't afraid of spoiling my works or getting it ruined and all that. So I just kept trying and it was so amazing because the more I try, the more I get better.
Yeah.
So until I got to know some of the artists online that some post some of their videos on how they shade, then I learned a little from them. And up to date, I'm still learning though.
So does anything in your life influence your kind of drawing? Is there anything that you look towards and you say, these are the kind of what influence what I draw?
Well, there's a lot, especially when you're coming from the northern part of Nigeria. There's a lot that frustrates. There's poverty, there's insecurity. Sometimes I created a piece of recent. I posted it on Instagram. That was the last piece I created last year. And it's just display the pain that we go through. And it's not easy. Waking up, you're not assured of your life. You don't know if you can. Most of the times we go to sleep at night with one eye open because anything can happen. It can come and kidnap you in your house and you pay a huge ransom before you can get back home. And the poverty over here, like Nigeria is wealthy, Kaduna is wealthy, but this wealth has been, it's with a very few set of people. And the people below the poverty line, the number is very high. So surviving in Kaduna, in Nigeria, is really, really challenging because even the minimum wage cannot get you, let's say, a quarter bag of rice. So it makes life so frustrating. Sometimes I just want to vent my pain through creativity and all that. And there are other positive things like I appreciate life entirely and I appreciate the beauty of life. So sometimes I get inspired by the beautiful things around me and it helps me to create.
Yeah, and also just the environment. I mean, I know what we mean because there's so much instability, there's so much going on in that part of the world. But at the other side of things we tend to take for granted. It's just the beauty of the nature, the untapped land, and so much we could do in that country. It's just unbelievable, especially in Kaduna State. When you deal with these kind of challenges, especially with being an artist, how do you find your own joy within your own circle of dealing with this kind of challenges and insecurity you face on a daily basis?
Well, we've learned to just accept life the way it is. And no matter how things get difficult, we just keep pushing. And then, like I earlier said, I just derive this joy creating. So once I get an idea of creating something I feel will be wonderful, sometimes I forget the pain around, I forget the challenges around, as long as I find that joy creating that piece.
Yes, no, that's true. And you know, art is a business as well, because it's not just okay, we all love art and we all love to draw, but there's something where you have to take away your passion into business. How were you able to do that?
Well, before now, it was really challenging because what people over here, they don't appreciate art much. That is the truth. About especially the north. I think the western part of Nigeria appreciates art more. So in the north here, it's really, really challenging, and the materials are very expensive. So then when I started this as a profession, it was really, really challenging because I could do a piece that either nobody is buying, or when someone patronizes me, it cannot even get me enough money to get the materials. But I think what just kept me moving is the joy of creating, because I could do a piece and even dash it out. I could give it out for free as long as I get the result, the desired result. But then I kept doing it. It got to a point that my dad had to support me because he saw that drive that I really loved what I was doing. And he gave me some money to get some materials, and he was also willing to keep pushing me until I actually lost him. So.
Oh. Oh, that's really, may he so rest in peace. And I'm so glad that before you lost your father, that you guys actually connected on that side of things and he started appreciating your work. Then the good news started coming through because you're on Instagram and people started recognizing you. You know, you got your first recognition by Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart sent you an Instagram post. I mean Twitter post or Instagram, one of those posts, and he really applauds your work. And not just Kevin Hart. Then you went on to Stephen Harvey. He featured you on Good Morning America, and he talked about your work and everything you do. Then Tiffany. It's like all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. This is a local guy in Kaduna State is getting recognition. And I pull up my messages here or from some of their tweets. It's truly amazing. So Kevin Hart says, I have to really look for this amazing thing where he's truly amazed. He says, I see it and I want to purchase it. I also want to support you and your amazing talent by giving you a free to-do pencil drawing of 3 of my celebrity friends that I could give it to them. DM me your info, let's get to work. Then you get Tiffany Haddish. And she says, wow, you did that? I love it, black heads. And all can I buy it from you? Oh my goodness, Stevie Harvey, and you're on this thing. Please tell me, what does this mean when you first got that Kevin Hart message?
Well, I never knew that Kevin Hart was going to see my work. I actually drew it out of passion, and I created a piece to appreciate him for the wonderful work he's been doing. He's one of my favorite celebrities, and I love his comedies, especially with Dwayne Johnson. So I was actually deliberating on who to create first because I wanted to draw the picture of Dwayne Johnson and also Kevin Hart. So I don't know, I just had this conviction in me. It was like, why not go with Kevin Hart? Take that first, then you can later take on that of Dwayne Johnson. Then I created this piece. I took my time to do that. It took me a very long time because I had some commissions on ground that I had to meet up. So whenever I had the chance, I could go back to it to work on it. And when I was done with this piece, a friend of mine advised me to take it to Twitter. Before then, I never had a Twitter account. I wasn't on Twitter.
So what happened?
So I went on Twitter, I created an account and I posted it and I asked people to help me retweet until Kevin Hart sees it. I think it was less than 8 hours. It's the retweet was so much and I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't used to Twitter. I didn't really know how it was operating. So I left and I went back to Facebook. Then I saw someone's screenshot what Kevin Hart said and commented it under my post on Facebook. Then it was really, really surprising to me because I never thought he was going to see it. Then I went back to Twitter and I saw his messages on my DM. It was really, really. At that moment, I flung my phone to the floor because.
That's so wonderful. I'm really touched. I'm really happy. And what about when you saw it on? What about when Steve Harvey had it on his and talked about it? What did you think?
Yeah, it was really amazing because I never thought he would also see it because Kevin Hart saw my work on February 27th, I think around then, and Steve Harvey featured it around April. So I never thought he was going to see it too. So when I saw it, was really, it was really shocking because I didn't believe that he was going to.
Yeah, this is really the power of social media, which we can't take for granted. So when Tiffany also did the tweets, tell me how that one happened.
Well, I created Tiffany's piece last year, 2020.
Mm.
Yes, and I posted it also on Twitter. Well, I was already getting used to it. So when she saw it, it was not really shocking to me anymore, like it used to be.
So have you benefited from having these endorsements from these wonderful and talented artists?
It has really been great for me. I didn't really get to do the portraits for Kevin Hart because he didn't commission them. But then he supported me then 2019 with $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So and after that, I was able to get a lot of commissions and ranging from $10,000 to $5,000. And
you see, I just love the joy of social media. We take it for granted because it has so many negative sides. Like you just said in your beginning, even living in Kaduna has so many negative sides, but at the same time, it has lots of positive side. And it's something you can't take for granted. And it's just what you just said. You didn't know anything about social media. When people talk about social media, they say it gives them mental breakdown, mental pain. But we also never forget the opportunity that social media creates for people like yourself based out in Kaduna, Nigeria, and you are now reaching people you never would have reached if not for the power of social media. And I'm so glad that these people are opening up and creating opportunities for yourself. And we wouldn't have even met if not for social media either. So I'm really truly honored.
yeah.
So you live in this village. Tell me about your village and how do you find it in you to find optimistic and positivity every day?
I stay in Guningura. That's the name of my village. And Guningura is a wonderful place. It's more of we're more of subsistence farmers, and I love this place actually because it inspires me a lot. I grew up with my family. I have my extended family around, and the love around is really amazing. I know most of them now. I think my uncles, together with my dad, all of them are leads. I just have my aunties left, and I have my elder ones and my cousins. And I've met a lot of people in Guningora. A lot of people have come to meet me in this place, people I never thought could ever come to meet me. And I've had a lot of interviews in this place. And the encounter with Kevin Hart actually puts this environment on the map. And a lot of people were wondering, where is this Guningora? What is so special about this place? And it's really wonderful over here. Even with the threats and everything, I I still love this place.
That's, that's good. And how are you using your gift now? Because you have a special gift as something we must really applaud. How are you using this gift to help others and to believe that anybody who has a dream can actually realize their dream?
Well, I have this vision of taking up, let's say, people who can't really get the support they want, they desire to create. I want to impact in them and also help them the way I've been helped by others to do good in art. And I have been able to do little in impacting this knowledge on some few people. I still have some I'm working with. I took some people from the orphanage close to me, and they're really catching up. One is very good. I can even give them piece. I can give a piece to create. So it's really wonderful, and that is what I desire to do. There's a lot of talent that is wasting, a lot of potentials, a lot of young people who don't really know what they can do. And I hope someday to be able to bring together these talents and help them. I don't take a dime from training them. I even give them my materials to use because I feel it's free. It's their gift. All I can do is to assist them to develop that gift.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's really true. So when you describe your work, when you look at your work, what is your end goal when you paint, when you do this hyper-realistic artwork? What is your end goal?
Well, I am a believer, and I believe every gift comes from God. And sometimes I wonder how I create, because sometimes I don't even know how to start a piece. I could be staring at a picture, I'll be like, how do I go about this? But then when I feel such challenges, I just pray within me. I'll be like, well, God, I leave this to you. And I don't get the stress. I've noticed something over time. When I draw on my own, sometimes a picture can look so very easy, but it will be very difficult to draw. And I don't know how that happens. But when I just leave that thing to God, and even if it's very difficult, I find it very easy. And the time frame is it makes it very easy for me. So I don't know how to draw. I just feel there's this God that helps me.
You, yes. And brings out your talent.
Yeah, because sometimes, like I said, when I create a piece, sometimes I wonder, I will be like, how did you go about this? How did you really create this? I stay at night. Sometimes my wife would tell me, why don't you go and sleep? I would just be looking at my work and be wondering, how did you do this? It takes me hours.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, Eli, before I let you go, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? How do you see this progressing further?
Well, in the next 10 years, I desire my works to be in the secondary markets where they can be auctioned. And I desire to own a gallery where I can train young people to achieve their goals, their purpose.
Yeah, I agree. I really love your work, and I really appreciate it. And I really hope that people listening to this video, you get more people looking to get themselves commissioned and be like Kevin Hart and really support your work, because you need it and you're doing good, not just for yourself, but for the community at large. Thank you so much, Eli, for talking to me. I really
Thank you so much.